Get you a couple pieces of half-inch rebar, about 12, 14 inches long, and stick one in there and then loosen the bolt, and then widen it tight with the two pieces of rebar. Yeah, I know how to do all that stuff. I counted the turns and a little bit up to 7.5 turns on each side, so, we all figured out it's just like, kind of mounted to the wall different. Oh, yeah. Well, the only reason I told you that was I had a neighbor that had one, and he told us nobody could help him with it. He was over there with a pipe wrench trying to wind him, and I'm like, what are you doing? There's a reason those have, holes in them. Yeah, rebar was good. With a rod that's positioned, I wouldn't think the rebar is really too big or anything. Well, I think half-inch rebar was what we ended up using in his. It might have been smaller, but it might have been 3/8. But, yeah, it was just some rebar. I haven't had some year that I saw put flags on and marking something, and they were just the right size to go in there. They may have been 3/8. Yeah, 3/8 probably was good, but I think that the half was going to be too big. What did you put up for money? Well, I just tried something. I had a Buckmaster offset dipole for 80 meters. It had a 90-foot leg on one side, a 45-foot leg on the other. Now it has 400-foot wire connecting the two. What balancing you got on it? Well, they say it's got an auto transformer that works as a 6-to-1. It seems like it's radiating 400 foot. It ought to radiate something. Well, it's the 400 plus the 125, so actually it's 500 or 535, rather, somewhere around there. It ought to be good for 160 then. Yeah. Yeah, I tried it out when I tried on 160. It actually worked. It was I've been taking that cigar reading to, it's kind of funny because when it was only about, average of 8 or 10 foot off the ground, it seemed like my SWR was better now that I've got floated in the air. So I may have to do some, I need an antenna analyzer so I can see where I'm on frequency and stuff, but anyway, it's working. Oh, it's working good, Tracy. Yeah, you're 20, almost 20 over, just a little under 20 over here at the lake. You're using just about exactly the same antenna I am. Well, but I didn't know if it worked or not, so I said with the whole using the dipole, red, couldn't find anywhere where anybody had done it, but I was like, well, it's usually on a loop they use a 4-to-1, it's an auto transformer, hopefully it handles, so I just couldn't get it. I'm trying to call phonetically. We're having a little trouble hearing you. I thought it was DBM. No, anybody else happening?
North America 4DX.
Kilo Charlie 8, Tango Delta X-ray, David, 35 miles northeast of Columbus, Ohio. Well, I'll be darned. What kind of weather have you got up there, Eric? Yeah. We had last week about 6 inches of snow, and that melted off, and the temperature warmed up, and now it's been pouring down rain. So we're getting some low areas that are flooding with water, namely my backyard, and some other areas. But currently we have 45 degrees right here in a little town called Mount Vernon, Ohio. Well, I had to sell out my other station because I moved from Virginia to Ohio, and I'm just starting over, and this is a ST710 Yazoo, and I built a 3-band fan dipole. The apex is maybe 15, 20 feet off the ground. Doing a great job because you're you were about 18 over in that last transmission. She just keeps getting away with it. Once I got her more plans, and I'm quite impressed with it. My friend just got an AL-80 and she wants to sell me, or might sell me. It has a knob with select for high voltage and reference and AOC that keeps the position.
Perfectly to Kuzma in the corner, who had all day for it.
I mean, it's just a selector switch, so there should be wires, going off the back of that out to whatever board that it's making the selection for. So should be pretty easy fix. And he's wanting 1,000 for the amp, and that's probably in today's market, that's probably fair. I'll take the last one of those I bought. I only paid $750 for it. Right, hey, do me a favor, do me a call sign again. Alrighty, I got you here now. We're really, Ontario, is that correct? Alright, I'll stick you in my QR zip file here for contact, and yeah, your sound is really strong down here. Alright, good enough. Well, unfortunately, one of the calls from super people wanting to get a hold of you is, all the people in talking to you. Just by the way, you were peaking 18 and a little spike up to 20 of it. So, and Nancy, Charlie 8, David Alex, 73, how much?
North America 4DX. North America 4DX. November America 4 Delta X-ray. Yeah, good evening to you as well. Name here is Larry, Lima Alpha Romeo Yankee. And we're about 40 miles west of St. Louis, Missouri. Back to you. Yeah, okay, fine business, Eric. Yeah, we've been copying the mail here for a little bit, and heard your signal in there. It's a little weak coming into St. Louis for some reason, but I was over on the Utah SDR and listening to you there. You're about 5 and 9 there to the Utah SDR. So that's the beauty of technology. If we can't hear you in one place, we'll hear you somewhere else. Hi. Anyway, just got a new radio we're trying to learn a little bit about. And we're actually broadcasting live on YouTube as well. So if you want to hear your signal, look us up on YouTube. We're live right now under NA4DX. So back to you, Victor Echo 3, Echo Papa November. This is North America 4DX. Yeah, most definitely. Well, I retired from the IT world, so anytime that we can interface technology with the hobby like this, I think it's a plus. And for sure, I actually shared it on my Facebook page as well that I'm live streaming, and just told anybody that wanted to pop in there and take a listen and find out how ham radio works, even when cell towers don't work. Roger? Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Just kind of get the word out there. I think that probably a lot more people would be involved if they knew what it was about. We just don't do as good a job as we probably should in advocating and promoting the hobby and helping people understand that we are the first responders in communication. I lived in Florida for 20 years, went through 15 hurricanes, and if it weren't for ham radio operators, a lot of people would not get their health and welfare information about their family members during those events. So anyway, listen, I won't tie it up. I want to just jump in there and say good evening to you from St. Louis, and hope that you're doing well. And we're just having fun here with the hobby. So back to you for any final thoughts, and we'll sign our 73 here. Victor Echo 3 Echo Papa November. This is North America 4DX. Yeah, 73. Having a good evening.
you're a baseball fan, you'll enjoy the history of this place. I'll give it a try. 73 Craig, see you later. A0 arcade. Ciao. 73 Dave, I'll definitely check that out. It's a WA3's FDI and I'll be clear. Who's there? Oh my God. Yeah, what am I going to put up for element one? Oh my God. I was thinking of, I was in Walmart today and I saw fishing poles and I got crazy ideas of attaching them to my 20-meter quad, over. I definitely would like to have a 40-meter quad. That would make my day. I was thinking of that today in Walmart when I was looking at the fishing pole. Fiberglass pole, yep. Oh, I don't know. I think the longest fishing pole I saw was probably maybe 12 feet, something like that. I think I would need a bit more than that. I forget exactly how long the stars are on my 20-meter cord. I think they're about 14 feet. I can't remember now. They go up on an angle. And, I know there's 70 feet of wire on the square. I have to sit down and do the math to figure out the length of the pole going out. And those arms are fiberglass. They're very nice tapered rods. Well, this has been a very cool winter. I would say this has probably been, it hasn't been the coldest winter this year since 1986, I moved here. So I got to see water in 86 all the way up till now. This is not the coldest winter that I've been here, but it's been the coolest. We've had many days that have gone down into the high point. In the 20s, what was it, about 1988, we had temperatures in the upper 20s one time. And then, you get some days down to 31, 30, 34. We haven't had that at all the last few years. I can't remember how long it's been since we've been down below freezing, or even at freezing, but this winter, there's been many, many days below 50. And around 50 and 55 and like that. And that's a little unusual. Over the long term. The winter is not down in like 28 and 30. We will get these at like 3 times in the upper 70s, even at 80. So I guess maybe it's averaging out over the long term. Anyway, I'll let you go. I gotta take care of a couple things here. I got to return a cell phone call, so I will say 73. We'll catch up with you later there. At 2:15 last night. Oh, good. Yeah, by all means. Bullshit. What are you doing in New York? 29th of February, okay. Okay, well, have a good trip if I don't catch you before that. 73 on top of the evening. Let me pick up Danny real quick and then I'm going to go that way. Over to you, Danny. LZ7 Victor Victor K0RK. Thank you very much for the 59 plus 3/4 59 plus 15 dB. 59 plus 15 dB, Danny, over. 33. We look forward to and if you go ahead.
QRZ is the frequency in use. Is this frequency being used? This is NA4DX. CQ the frequency, QRZ the frequency. Is this frequency in use? NA4DX. CQ40, CQ40. CQ40 meters, this is North America 4DX, NA4 Delta X-ray, calling CQ40. CQ40 meters from NA4DX, North America 4 Delta X-ray, calling CQ40 meters and listening. Okay, there you are. Kilowatt India 5, Juliet Tango Alpha. Very good. Fine business. Let me get you here in the log. This is North America 4DX, NA4 Delta X-ray. Name here is Larry. Of course, you knew that by the chat that we got going on there. And I got you as Daryl, of course. And yeah, good to catch you. A little light, but we'll get you all tuned up here. I got a radio that just picked up 2 days ago. And I'm still learning how to use it there. Go ahead.
Roger. Well, thank you for the comeback. I thought I've never done the YouTube and the radio. I just happened to plug it into good. I'm on the top of your line.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, hey, I'm sure you're not the only one. Sometimes we get botted all the time, right? So no bots here. This is live and in Technicolor. Go ahead. What was the question again? Yeah, okay. I'm in Wentzville, Missouri, about 40 miles west of St. Louis. Go ahead. Yeah, very good. Well, I spent 15 years in the trucking industry. My first experience with trucking was with Central Freight Lines at Dallas, Texas, at the big facility there just next to the old Texas Stadium where the Cowboys used to play. I was their very first industrial engineer. And I went from there to Denver, Colorado, where I became the corporate director of NW Transport, big regional carrier up there in Denver. And then finally down to Springdale, Arkansas, where I was corporate director for Jones Truck Lines. Go ahead. Yeah, most of the trucking industry that I was involved in was the LTL common freight carriers, the bigger ones like Red Ball and Red Arrow, and all these McLean's. Who else? There's a whole bunch of them that are all gone. Most of those were gobbled up or folded back in the 80s, and so I was around most of those LTL common carriers. And of course, you had all your FFEs, the frozen food exchange express company there out of Dallas. And now there's just trucking companies everywhere. Go ahead. Yeah, real fine there, Daryl. KI5JTA, NA4DX. Well, real good. Well, I got out of the trucking business back in 1992 when Jones Truck Lines decided that they were going to go belly up. I was corporate director and executive member of the company, and I didn't know anything about it. I went to work one day and there were chains on the doors. The company went bankrupt overnight, and that was that after 85 years of being in business. So that was when I decided it was time to change career paths. And I got into the IT world and moved to Florida and spent 20 years in Florida, and ultimately retired from the IT business after 25 years. Go ahead. Yeah, Roger. No, I never did drive. The only time I ever punched the clock was my first 3 months with Central Freight Lines from 1978. When I first went to work, I went to work out on the dock loading trucks, bobtails and 40-footers and all kinds of things, loading and stripping trucks on the dock there. And that did that for about 3 months. And the rest of my 15 years in the trucking business was executive level management. And then I went into the IT world and was the director of IT for a college system in Florida with 6 campuses. Over. Yeah, I'm sure that's probably the case. Back in the day, trucking businesses operated on the idea that it's hard work and long hours, and You did it by the seat of your pants, and everybody just, everybody went home with a good paycheck and seemed to be enjoying life. But I don't know. These guys make a lot of money these days with these trucks. So especially if you've got your own equipment and you're contracted out, and whether you might have a sleeper bed and stuff like that, you can get a lot of miles in. You can get a lot of money, Roger. What was it called again? Nope, I sure haven't. Like I said, I got out of the trucking business in 1992, and interestingly enough, that was 32 years ago. Go ahead. Yeah, there was just there was a lot of businesses. I mean, I dealt with a lot of the leadership management in lots of different companies. Most of them back east. Let's see who. I'm trying to think who all I dealt with. Of course, there's AAA Cooper and Advanced Freight Business. Let's see what else. And a lot of them have changed. A lot of them got bought up, and a lot of them got merged in. Of course, now the big three used to be Roadway, Yellow, and Consolidated, and now they all merged together to be called YRC. And then I heard just the other day, Yellow Freight, which must have been the parent company of all of them, went bankrupt, closed their doors. So I guess YRC is gone. Yeah, I don't think I would have either. I mean, I like to drive. I like to see the sights and things like that, but I don't think I'd like to be away from home that much. But I'm sure glad that we have trucking, and a lot of people don't realize it. But 80% of all the stuff they buy is handled on trucks. Go ahead. No, haven't heard that. But then again, I don't pay any attention to the media. I don't watch any news programs or anything. I don't know. It's I get bits and pieces of information, and when I retired back in 2014, and so I'm enjoying my retirement years. My wife and I travel quite a bit. We have 15 grandchildren and 4 great grandchildren, so that keeps us fairly busy. And we get out and do a lot of things. I play a little golf and do some fishing, and my wife and I are leaving Saturday for a week down in southwest Missouri around Branson for a little bit of a getaway. So don't hear about a lot of those kinds of things. Go ahead.
Roger. Well, you're better off. Believe me, I'm getting a whole lot. I don't even want to say this to that stuff either. But I've got 5 great grandkids. Seems like I'm kind of young to have great grandkids, but there they are. Anyway, well, listen, is this being recorded?
Yep, Roger that. Well, it's live. And whether I keep it or not, I may keep it at first and just watch it through and see how it recorded. But you can go on to YouTube right now and just search my call letters, and you can go back and hear yourself. Go ahead.
Oh, Roger. Well, I want to avoid doing that because I don't like to go out there recorded media. Anyway, well, listen. I'm going to put you in my house when I have internet. My internet is down and they did this, so I didn't get on QRZ to walk you in, but I was in there when I had that opportunity.
Yeah, okay, Daryl, real fine. Listen, I'm glad you stopped in and appreciate you doing that. It's been a pleasure meeting you and another trucker from days gone by. So wish you very best in all you're doing, and hopefully we'll catch you again here on the bands. Take care, 73, and God bless. KI5 JTA, this is North America 4DX 73.
North America 4DX is a Kilo India 5, Juliet Tango Alpha, 76 U2. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening. CQ40, this is North America 4DX, NA4 Delta X-ray, CQ, anyone? Is that Kilowatt George 4 Bravo Delta Mexico? Is that Roger? Yeah, okay, Jason, real good. KG4DBM. This is North America 4DX, NA4 Delta X-ray. The name here is Larry. And we're about 40 miles west of St. Louis, Missouri, here on Interstate 70. And I'm not sure where Rockford is. I'll have to take a look and see. You said close to Knoxville, so that gives me a pretty good idea. And so we're just we're doing a little test here of some a new radio that we've got. And we're live on YouTube, streaming live. So if you want to take a listen, you can go back and pick it up and hear how your signal's coming through. Do a search on YouTube for my call letters, and it should bring you right to our stream. So back to you there, Jason, KG4DBM from NA4DX. Yeah, okay, real good. KG4DBM, NA4DX returning. We'll find business on the Yaesu FT101EE. Wow, I haven't heard one of those in a long time. My first radio in 1982 was the single E version, FT101E. That's what I got started with. So, that was a great radio. You could tune that thing up on barbed wire fence. It could handle anything. Well, I've got the newer version. I've got a 101 as well, but it's the 101D, FTDX 101D. And so we're just getting accustomed to it and getting it configured and trying to figure out all the bells and whistles. Go ahead. Okay, real good there, Jason. KG4DBM, NA4DX. Well, you said a couple of things there I've got to respond to. You said swan, and that perked up my ears. If you look at my QRZ page and look at some of the photographs and pictures I've got there, you'll see that I happen to have two swans as well. I've got the Swan 500CX, and I also have the bigger brother of that, the Swan 700CX. And I love bringing either one of those online and doing what you're doing there, bring the old vintage equipment up and let people hear it and realize that, hey, while we may have come a long ways, the old equipment still works and does a pretty good job, all in all. The other thing, you had said you were close to Pigeon Forge there, and yeah, my wife and I have been to this Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg and love the area. In fact, the matter is, this you might find this interesting. Sevierville was named after my great-great-great-grandfather. Tom, actually, I think it was his brother, Tom Sevier, who founded the state. He was the first governor of the state of Tennessee, and founded the city. The city Sevierville was named after him. So that's in my family line. Go ahead. Yeah, real good there, Jason. KG4DBM, NA4DX. Yeah, real good. Well, yeah, I completely agree with you. And as far as a famous person, that's not me. You must be talking about somebody else. Yeah, you take my name and about $5, and you can go down to Starbucks, get you a cup of coffee. Anyway, well, it's just fun. My family, my brother, and some of us have been doing a lot of genealogy work and discovered all these things. We knew some of it, but didn't know it all. But yeah, it's interesting when you get digging around, finding out things about your family. Of course, you dig up some stuff you don't want to know and wish you hadn't seen. But anyway, well, listen, we'll let you go. By the way, you're about a 10 over S9 on the peaks. There's a little bit of fading, but it seems to be holding up pretty good. So we got you in the log and look forward to running across you again here real soon. Take care, 73, and all the best to you and your family. KG4DBM, this is North America 4DX, and we'll say good evening. Okay, fine business, Jason. 73, and we'll look forward to the next time. This is North America 4DX.
Delta 9, Romeo Echo Kilo.
Kilowatt Delta 9, Romeo Echo Kilo, I believe. You'll have to see if I got it right. This is North America 4DX. Go ahead.
Delta 9, Romeo Echo Kilo. My name is Kirk, Captain Kirk, and nice to
Yeah, okay, there, Captain Kirk. Yeah, that was one of my favorite shows back when it first came out, the original series. There was 71 episodes of that, and I watched them all. Kilowatt Delta 9 Romeo Echo Kilo in Rockledge, Florida. Well, I know where that is, and probably been there. I lived in Florida for 20 years. Didn't get this call there, interestingly enough, even though I would think I would have with the 4, but I got it much later. But anyway, thanks for coming back to the call. KD9REK, it's NA4DX. Name is Larry, and we're in Wentzville, Missouri, about 40 miles west of St. Louis. Back to you.
Yeah, Larry, I'm checking out your page. Yes, I am in Rockledge. I am a snowbird. I'm actually calling you remotely from my summer home location in Wisconsin, Menominee, Wisconsin. I had my 7300 set up there with the amplifier all set up to go on 40 meters, and so I decided to try 40. I also have another 7300 with me here and another amplifier, but that one I'm obviously changing things. The signal sounds great. I've looked at your YouTube channel. I've looked at your page. You've got a really, really nice setup. Very, very impressed. Very impressed.
Yeah, okay, well, I appreciate that, Kirk. It's changed a little bit. I haven't updated the picture. If you look in my QRZ main picture, the station's changed a little. If you're looking live and see what it looks like live, you'll notice that right in the center where I used to have the Yaesu FTDX 3000 and an ICOM 7300, I now have the Yaesu FTDX 101D. And so that's taking up that space, and that's what we're talking on right now. So trying to get used to it and learning how to use it and all that sort of thing. Oh, by the way, if you know anybody or if you'd like to pick up another 7300, I have one for sale. So just thought I'd throw that one in. I've already sold the FTDX 3000, but below the Yaesu, you'll notice I have the Icon 7610 as well. So we get to play between the Yaesu and the Icon. And interestingly enough, with both those radios, my favorite had always been, until this new one, my Flex 5000A, which is off to the right. The screen doesn't show it right now. I'm going to switch it over to the Power SDR software. There we go. So I've got that running over on the right side. So that's the story here. The antenna is a 43-foot vertical. It's an all band of 160 through 6 meters, and it's the high gain AV6160. So back to you, Kirk, KD9REK by remote. This is North America 4DX.
Yeah, that Flex radio, that's pretty cool. I actually picked up this second IP7300 at Hamcation 2 weekends ago over in Orlando. At the swap meet. That was one of the things I was looking for, and there was a guy, he had 3 of them sitting on the table. I was like, oh, I want one of those. I actually do know someone who does want one, so I would have to reach out to you and tell them if they wanted to try to sell. And, the antenna I'm actually using right now is an infrared halfway antenna. It's going from my lake, I live at my home in Wisconsin, so it's going from the tree up to the tower and then back down to the garage. So it does okay. The one here in Florida is a vertical, and I live in so I have to take it in and out of the yard. But yeah, it's all good. Nice to meet you. I'm going to let you probably chat with some other folks, and I'll reach out to you via email after I give my friends.
Okay, fine business, Kirk. Appreciate that. Yeah, well, you know, as well as the millions of others that have the 7300, it's been a very versatile and useful piece of equipment. The 7300 power pack, it's got a lot of functionalities, and it's you know, a great remote radio as well as portable. So And this one here, believe it or not, I bought it from the original owner. He had it as a second radio as a backup that he never used. He never powered it up. He just had it as a backup. And so when I bought it, it was basically brand new. And because I had so many other radios, I probably only used it a half a dozen times myself. Just do it every now and then, just for fun. So it's still, for all intents and purposes, a pretty new radio. So anyway, if they're interested, just check me out. My QRZ email is correct, NA4DX2@gmail, and be happy to work with them. Anyway, appreciate you coming back to the call. 73s. Oh, by the way, I lived in Orlando for 14 years, and I lived up in Salt Springs, Florida, which is north of Orlando, about an hour and a half, just a little northeast of Ocala, south of Palatka, Florida, for 6 years. So I put 20 years in the state of Florida. So anyway, 73, thanks again. It's been a pleasure. I got you down in the log, and we'll look forward to running across you again. K89 REK, this is North America 4DX. Good evening, 73.
This is K9 REK 73. North America. WX WB50 is leading near Houston. A copy on land?
Now the WB5, go ahead.
Bravo 5, Oscar Zulu, Don is in Keene, Texas, just north of downtown Houston, Texas, VBH, West Park City, USA. You're 20 over, S9 over.
Yeah, real fine, Don. Thanks for coming back to the call. WB50ZZ in New Caney, Texas. All right, well, I've not heard of that one. I know a lot about Texas. But hey, there's a lot of places down there that got created long after I left. I left Texas in 1986. I have family all over the place, including Houston, Richmond, Rosenberg, Crockett, Texas, Plainview, Texas, way out in the west area, and then all the mid cities between Dallas and Fort Worth. So I know Texas fairly well. But listen, you have a nice signal, 5.9 plus, coming into Wentzville, Missouri, about 40 miles west of St. Louis. And so let me send it back to you, WB50ZZ, NA4DX.
NA4DX or ZOX?
Delta X-ray.
Got it. And the name?
Yep, sorry about that. Larry, Lima Alpha Romeo Yankee. Go ahead.
And what did you say you were at? The Webster Groves or what?
No, that's downtown. That's in the middle of St. Louis. I'm 40 miles west of St. Louis on I-70, right here where US 61 intersects with it, going north to Hannibal. I live in the town of Wentzville. If you know anything about racing back in the day, this was the location of the Mid-America Raceways. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Been there. My Porsche 911 sure has. And still got them. They go all over those racetracks. Not as much as I used to, but that's cool. My state, still have time in St. Louis on RTL, across the Washington University campus. I used to go up there on the weekends from Norman, Oklahoma, and I had a lot of fun there. And we played football with Mizzou, and met a lot of people that were Rolla and St. Louis, and nice city, good weather, nice river, and kind of miss going through there nowadays. I haven't been there in years, but maybe one of these days I'll take a trip in there with my airplane and touch down somewhere, and got a small airport he's flying to. Are you flying it again? So, what do you do there? Are you retired there in near St. Louis or what? Over?
Yeah, real good, Don. Yeah, well, it sounds like you know the area fairly well. Well, if you've been around the area, you may have heard of the town of Sullivan, Missouri. It's on Old Route 66, about 60 miles southwest of St. Louis, where the Merrimack State Park is. Merrimack's rivers there, and all that's where I was born and raised and grew up. My brother graduated from the University of Missouri and worked for them for 40 years. He's retired. And my sister lives in Jefferson City, and she's retired. And yep, 2014, I hung up the old working boots. So yeah, I put 15 years in the trucking business. I got that started back in 1978 in Dallas, Texas, with Central Freight Lines. And if you've been around Texas long, you're probably all familiar with the green machines of Central Freight Lines. I was their very first industrial engineer. And after 15 years of trucking, got in, said I had enough of that and went into the IT world and retired after 25 years as director of IT for a college system in Florida with 6 campuses. I was over all the technology. So that's the story. 2014 was my final year of working, and I'm just loving it, loving the retired world and enjoying it. And especially now that I can spend some time on the radio and meet fine folks like yourself. Go ahead.
Okay, real fun. Very Central, I guess, finally closed the doors, right?
Well, I wasn't aware of that. They sold out. The Callan family out of Waco, Texas, owned them originally, founded the company. Then they sold the company to the employees. Then after I left in 1986, they ended up being bought by Roadway Express that ended up taking them interstate because Central Freight Lines was an intrastate carrier, didn't go out of the state of Texas. Then they went out to New Mexico and Arizona and Oklahoma and some other places. And then eventually Roadways ended up wanting to dump it, so they sold it back to the employees. And that was the last I heard. Haven't been back there in a while, so I was not aware that Central was out of business. Go ahead.
Well, at one time they were. I don't know. I don't see them anymore in Houston market, but maybe they're back in other markets. So that was always a good trucking company. Used to use them a lot. I miss those green trucks. Kind of miss that era. Real fun with the retirement. And what kind of rig you running there, Older?
Yeah, well, and just one last comment about Central. Yeah, they were a great company, and I cut my teeth, my trucking business teeth on them back in '78, and it was a good thing. It was my first job out of college. So, and yeah, as far as the Houston market, I always remember from Dallas to Houston, we ran 100 schedules, 100 pairs of pups a night. And only 60 coming back, so they had to do a lot of. We got into the intramodal part of the world, and had to move a lot of empties back to Dallas through rail. But anyway, I'm glad you asked about the radio. Just 2 days ago, I got this delivered to me. It's a new Yaesu FT101D, and it's quite the rig, and we're having a lot of fun with it. Go ahead.
Oh, good. That's great. Great. Which amplifier you running?
Yeah, the only amp I've ever had. I got my first license in '82 in Dallas, and from that time until probably about 6-7 years ago, I'd never had an amplifier. I always kind of prided myself on being able to get DXCC and other things with 100 watts. But decided I wanted an amp with the sunspot cycle on the low side and needing extra power. So I've got the Kenwood TL922A, and it's got the Harbox soft key mod in it, and it's got 10-meter mod. So this has been quite the amp. It really does do the job. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, that's good. In fact, I'm running another amp now. Tell a few not to run. But I use that. I use the TL 922 on 75 most of it. Right now, when Alpha 86, run about half hour, around 1,000 to 1,300 watts out. And it's export version, linear scale. It's 1.8 to 30.0. And it's about half hour now, running about 12, 13, 14, 15 watts right now. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, you're 10 over S9, no problems there. And I'm peaking right at 1,000. I'm not pushing it real hard. these 922s, they can take it. You can't overdrive that thing. Now I don't have the MP version of that 101. I just have the D, so I wouldn't want to try to run 200 watts. I don't think they'll take it. I think maybe 150, maybe the most input you can make on these 922s. But I'm driving it with 70 watts and getting 1,000 out, so that's it works pretty well. Go ahead.
Yeah, mine had I bought my good tree, but had some engineering, all their mods, and I had it like 3 or 4 years. Still in beautiful shape. Still puts out about 1,450 output. Beautiful amp, beautifully made. No problems with anything. And I've also put up amplifiers I bought. Built back in 72 for 1,000, 1,000. And I got 2 to 3 outputs, which I don't use much. Got 5, 6 dipoles up, and shouldn't have an X beam up. When I find tubing, they go with that vertical band real easy. But after that, I don't get on as much as I used to, but I'm still working and running a company. That kind of takes up some time during the day, but I still find time at night. 40 meters is my favorite band. Good and clear at night. Even 75 is pretty decent at night. But I kind of like to get a maze up there in Missouri. And our weather here is very nice. Highs 75 to 80. Lows around 55 at night. And the low humidity, no rain. And it's really springtime almost. So, NA4DX WB50ZZ.
Yeah, okay, Don, real good. WB50ZZ from North America 4DX. I think Puxatawny Phil got it right. Winter's probably behind us, although, as soon as I say that, it's happened too many times not to believe it might not happen again. Come April, we'll probably get a foot of snow. That's just the way it works. But today was about 66 degrees here, and right now it's 52, so it won't get too much colder. It'll probably get down to the upper 40s. But tomorrow's not supposed to. It's supposed to be 60 plus tomorrow as well. And then next week, they're now forecasting we'll have close to 80 degrees the mid part of next week. So, it's feast or famine. You're either going to have cold weather or it's going to be summer-like. That's the problem with our weather around here these days. It seems like it's not like it used to be. I retired in 2014, but I'm about as busy, if not busier, than I ever was working. I have a lot of things I do with the ham radio and grandkids and great grandkids, and I get a little golfing in every now and then. And but most of my extra time spent entertaining. I sing at independent and assisted living facilities all over St. Louis. I started doing that when I retired, and I've done over 750 of these concerts, if you will. They call them gigs, in the music world. And so I do. I do 2 this week. I did 3 last week. I was doing about 100 a year until COVID, and that kind of shut it down. And then now I'm backing it off to about 50 dates this year, maybe a couple more. So that's kind of what we spend some of our time doing. And like I said, we're on ham radio right now. We're live on YouTube. So if you want to go back and listen to your signal, you can just look me up on YouTube, NA4DX, and you'll see the live version. So back to you, Don. WB50ZZ, NA4DX.
Hey, that's cool. There. What's you think contemporary, goldie oldies? What global range are you over?
Yeah, well, I do a little bit of everything. I call myself a reborn crooner, so I do a lot of Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Perry Como, Engelbert Humperdinck, Neil Diamond, James Taylor, John Denver, even some of the oldies, even Bing Crosby, Louis Armstrong, you name it. The music that these people grew up with. And then I've had to up my game a little bit because there's more of the baby boomers showing up in these places. A lot of these independent facilities are like resorts. They're all inclusive resorts. People are downsizing and going into these independent living facilities because they're really nice. I mean, they got everything you want. And then we provide, I get people calling me saying, come and entertain our people. So I do an hour. I'll do anywhere from 16 to 18 songs. I use tracks. I was a karaoke DJ in Orlando for a while, so that's kind of just right up my alley. My background is gospel music. I was a minister of music in Southern Baptist churches for over 30 years, so gospel music, contemporary Christian is my love, but I love all music except, I don't do any rap, so don't have to worry about whether I can get a tongue twister going or not, but I do just like for today. As a matter of fact, I did folk. I did 16 songs of folk music, going back to Bob Dylan and all the way up to "Cats in the Cradle" by Harry Chapin. Go ahead.
Hey, that's great. I listen to 50s, 60s, and 70s on XM radio. Plus, I have about 500 original CDs of different artists, at least 500 CDs, and that's play those a lot. That's great. I was a trombonist, a saxophone artist, back in the 60s. We played Dixieland, we played orchestra, we played symphony, and also some rock and roll. And I played I played most of the brass instruments and most of the reed instruments. I was a jazz enthusiast at one time, and we had these good jazz clubs, and still enjoy it. But there's a lot of things. The original artists was there, North Corner, and Front Once was, and I remember, of course, the Las Vegas scene back in the 60s, the 60s for us. That was a lot of fun. But anyway, I gotta go. I gotta go watch the news. It was sure nice meeting here. I'll just look at YouTube under your call sign, and that's cool. I never thought about that. For recording. Great idea. That's a good way to preserve memories. So 7-3 there, Larry. Look forward to seeing you again. And have a good evening. NA4DX, Sullivan, Missouri. W5OZZ, New Caney, Texas.
All right, Don, from your business. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, and it's been a pleasure on this end to make your acquaintance and share common interest. Music is definitely my avocation. That's what I love most is music, and I watch these people that I'm singing for, watch their eyes light up, and especially when they hear a song they haven't heard in years, and get in there and sing along with me as well. So that's always a lot of fun. So, in fact, you can find me on Facebook under Songmaster. If you just type in the word Songmaster, I've got some of my live recordings there. Also, if you'd like to listen to some of my music, there is a website called SoundCloud, and that's just one word, two words together is one word, www.soundcloud.com/. My name hyphenated, Larry-Scantlin. You can find me on QRZ for the correct spelling. But I've got 16 albums and 110 singles recorded there. So I welcome you to and invite you to go listen to some of that music. Do a little bit of everything there. And let me know what you like best. So And we'll do this again, so hopefully we'll catch you again here on the radio. I'm going to call it a night myself, so I know there's probably others standing by listening, and I apologize, but I'm going to have to call it a night. And it's been fun. So Don, thanks again. Been a great QSO with you, and look forward to the next time. WB5OZZ there in New Caney, Texas. This is North America 4DX, Wentzville, Missouri. We'll be 73, and have a good evening.
73, sorry, goodbye.